Hello everyone, in this video I will bring you up Moana Movie Season 2 to explain. In this season, Moana has a difficulty mission to complete to save the human story. What is happening to Moana? Let's get into our movie. But before we get into it, please give me one subscribe, thank you so much. Our story begins on an island. There is a girl running fast. This is our character Moana. She is grown up and beautiful now. Her pig Pua also come with her. Moana ties Pua to her back and takes him to the top of the mountain. Hey gets there before her. Moana looks at the sunset on the top of the mountain. It is beautiful. She leaves a conch shell there and blows on the conch shell. She hopes that someone will blow it back. She was very happy when she heard the sound of blowing the conch shell back. In fact, Hey did it. Suddenly, Pua slips under. Moana catches him. Finally, they still fall down. Moana found a broken jar with a mountain and many people on it. She was very happy and said, Hey, you are so beautiful chicken, let's go home. Moana sails her boat to Moana Island all night across the great ocean until daybreak. On Moana Island, the people live happily. They are building a large meeting hall. The chief was happy to see Moana back. This is Kele, an expert in agriculture. This is Moni, an expert in history and painting. The children are happy to see Moana's boat from a distance. This is Loto, an expert in building sailboats. The chief rides his boat to pick Moana up. He said, Daughter, let's have a boat racing, who can sail faster. The villagers come to welcome Moana. Chief said, Yikes, it's called a hair whip. Learned it from those guys. Did you find anything? Moana said, Dad, this is a broken jar, but this isn't from our village. I don't even know what it's made of. But it's a proof. There are other people out there. I don't know why we haven't found them yet. I think that island where they're gonna be. This is Simea, Moana's sister. She said, Moana big sis. Simea said, I thought you were gone forever. Moana said it was just 3 days. Moana takes Simea to the secret cave where the big sailboats used to be kept. She pretends to be Moana in the first place that met Maui and said, Hey you Maui demigod. I am Moana of Moana Island. You will board my boat and restore the heart of Te Fiti. Moana said the carving on the wall is about the last great navigator. He is our ancient chief, Tautai Veza. He wanted to connect our island to all the people of the entire ocean. Moana said, Now I am a wayfinder. I will continue this job. This is my first clue. Cut to Maui. He is flying over the great ocean and arrived at a strange place. Maui said, I am not here to cause trouble. Just a passing through. Now open the portal to the island. I will be on my way. The mysterious person said, Why would I risk breaking the rules for you? You have already caused many troubles for my boss. Maui said, I do nothing wrong. The mysterious person said, Team up with you did, the precious human. Maui said, I have no team, that girl I just used her to get my hook. The mysterious person said, Nalo is a god, Maui. If you try to reconnect the people of the ocean, he will destroy you. Then her too. Maui said, What? Nothing to do with her. This is between him and me. The mysterious person said, You made her a wayfinder, right? Maui had no choice but to use his powers to attack the mysterious person. In the village, the villagers have a party. Some people put flower garlands on Moana. Loto and Moni are her friends. Chief said tonight isn't just a feast. Long ago, there was a title given to the last great wayfinder. A sacred title more than a chief was a Tautai. Leader, connector of the entire sea. Chief said, Would you honor us tonight by accepting this title? Our people's first Tautai in 1,000 years. Show us all just how far we'll go. There are many people attending this meeting. Chief said tonight, we drink from our ancestors' bowl as Tautai Veza once did to bestow this title on you to connect to our past, our present and the future that lies beyond. Moana said, I am honored to serve our people. May the ancestors continue to guide us. Suddenly, the sky turns dark and clouds gather, and a lightning strikes on Moana. She is on a boat with the Tautai Veza. He said Motufitu should be under the stars. Suddenly, a great storm appeared. Tautai said, bind the sail. Lift the oar. A loud roar echoed through the sky. It was Nalo. Moana fell into the water and saw a huge shark. In fact, this was Tautai's Veza after failing in that event. Moana arrived at her village, but there was not a single person there. Tautai said, this is how your story ends. Moana said, I don't understand. Tautai said, you must brave the storm, reconnect our people, find Motufitu. Moana said, I don't know how to reach it. Tautai said, a fire in the sky will guide you. Moana said, wait, I don't even know how far it is. Tautai said, at least farther than I was able to go. Remember, go find Motufitu. Her parents come to Moana. She wakes up and said, Motufitu. The island I have to find is Motufitu. Moni said, Motufitu Island has some records. It's an ancient island, where the channels of the ocean once came together, connecting the people of the entire sea, until it was lost by cursed, in a terrible storm of a power-hungry god, Nalo, who believed he'd be stronger by separating the people of the ocean to weaken us to end our story. Moni said our ancestors believed reaching Motufitu would break Nalo's curse. Moana came out and looked up at the sky and saw a flying star just like what Tautai had told Moana. Chief said if you travel by the new star it could take a lifetime. Tautai Veza traveled by the new star and never returned. Chief said, I'm afraid if we never see her again. Simea said, you mean never see Big Sis again? I don't want you leave. Chief said, don't worry, I will talk to her. Moana said, Mum, it's so fast. Her mum said, you are a Tautai now, Moana, for something we never feel ready. Moana sings about the difficult decision of having to choose between her home and what's unknown. If she goes beyond, leaving all she loves behind with the future of her people still to find. Which should she choose? Gramatala said, what are you so worried about? Moana said, it's not like last time. Grandma said that time you weren't old enough to understand all you could lose. But here we are together still. Just a little different. I can't see where your story leads, but we never stop choosing who we are. Moana announces to all the people that she will sail to this new star to Motufitu Island to reconnect the people of the entire ocean. And I will return home. Her mum said, Moana, you need a crew. Hey and Pua don't count. She said, give our people a chance to grow. Last time, the chicken made it. Moana said, well then I'm gonna need a bigger canoe. Moana said, Loto, I would like you on the crew. Grandpa Kele said, farmer on the sea. Moana said, we are gonna need to eat more than fish. Grandpa Kele said, you would need irrigation. Plant propagation. Take even my best apprentice, you still starve. This is Moana's trick, she said, who can do this? Grandpa Kele said, you do need master like me. Moana said, thanks you master, and leave quickly. Grandpa Kele said, I shouldn't be fooled by a child. Moana said, hey Maui, I don't know where you are, but I need your help. Suddenly, a shadow appeared. Moana thought it was Maui, but it was actually Moni. He was Maui's top fan. Moana thought Moni knew a lot of old stories and was very strong. She said, Moni, I want you to be my crew. Moni was very happy and said, I am going with Moana on a call from the ancestors. Moana packed her stuff for this mission. She wondered why they were so heavy. In fact, her little sis Simea was in it. She said, I am coming with you. Moana said, I will be back as soon as I can. Moana took Simea to play with the ocean. Simea said, you can take a piece from home. The villagers sang traditional songs to wish Moana a safe journey. A new sailboat was built for Moana to travel on this mission. Her family felt sad. Moana showed respect and sailed away. Cut to Maui, he is tied up and tries to get his hook to free him from the bonds. The mysterious person arrived and said I would let you out, but I am really hoping to meet your little friend. I have plans for you both, so enjoy your stay. Moana sails after the new star. In her free time, she sends a message across the ocean to Simea. She did it back. On the boat, Moana and her friends sing and play together happily, doing this to reduce their concerns. While singing happily, the guiding star exploded. Grandpa Kele said, "Isn't that what we were supposed to follow?" Moana doesn't want everyone to worry. She said it's normal, maybe a good thing or a message from our ancestors. Suddenly, the ocean is rolling and Moana's boat is out of control. Moana said, "Grab the oar." Moni said, "Something's wrong with the canoe." Loto said, "It isn't the canoe. It's the current." Moana said, "Hey ocean, please you give us some kindness." Moana said, "Land? Is it Motufitu?" Moni said, "No, it's Kakamora." Moana said, "In position now." She tried to sail away from them. On the Kakamora pirate ship, there was chaos. They looked like they were scared of something. They abandoned their ship and Moana wondered, why are they ignoring us? In fact, it was a giant clam that covered everything around it. Moana said, "Oh no." Her friend was freezing. Moana sailed alone to escape from the giant clam. She saw a rope tied to a pirate ship nearby. Coconut attacked Moana, but she was able to defend herself. Finally, she was shot from behind by the Coconut Captain and her entire team. The Coconut Captain almost hurt Moana. Luckily, Hey saved her again. Her boat's sails showed up at the Motufitu mountain. The Coconut King was very happy to see it. The coconuts took all the Moana team members to see the coconut slides. One of the coconuts took a picture and asked Moni to describe it. Grandpa Kele said they want you to translate the picture. Moni said our home island is in the same sea as Motufitu. When Nalo divided the ocean to weaken the people of the sea. Your ancestors were disconnected from their home. But I thought you would finally found the way back when you ran into this giant clam. Now I am worried I'll stay separated forever. Moana continued to translate, but if we help you defeat the clam, you'll help us reach Motufitu. Together. Grandpa Kele said, "Hello, we are still jelly. How are we gonna beat that?" Coconut releases green monster to help cure them. In fact, the toxin that Coconut uses is from that green monster. Moana said, "What? We made a deal. We take out the clam. And then you are helping us get to Motufitu." Moni said, "It looks like the coconuts are paying homage to us." Moana's boat entered the giant clam and a bright spot appeared. Moana said, "So I just stab it and Motufitu here we come." Moni said, "Mission accomplished." Moana lost her hand and spear fell down. Loto said, "And this is why you always have a backup." Hey come. Loto lost her hand and spear fell down. She said, "Double backup, Grandpa Kele comes." Loto said maybe a third would be lunacy. Because the toxin injection into the giant clam was delayed, Moana's boat had problems. Moana tried to grab the toxin spear, but she couldn't. Luckily, the Coconut Captain arrived and threw the toxin spear applied to the bright spot. The water was so choppy, Moana tried to pull the rope that was tied to the coconut ship. The Coconut Captain thought that if it continued like this, the giant clam would swallow us all. He decided to cut the rope. The giant clam disappeared into the ocean. Coconut King felt sad. Grandpa Kele said, "You Kakamora, you did this, go to hell. In fact, this is a worm monster." The Coconut Captain injected the toxin into its mouth. Loto said, "Fascinating. It looks like an acid." Suddenly, the ground cracked and they fell down. Maui said, "Can I get a chihu?" Moni said, "Maui, finally." Maui said, "Rule number 1, you never saw me like this. Even though I still look very cool." Grandpa Kele said, "You look like a kidney stone." Maui said, and you look like someone who would know what that is. The point is there's some serious God stuff. I am gonna handle my business. Maui said, boat snack, where's Moana? Moana woke up when she saw Simea. Moana said, Simea, how are you here? Simea said, I am not. You got sucked inside a giant clam and our story will end. Moana was scared. She tried to hit the bats. There were many bats flying past there. Moana met Matangi. She said, relax, I don't bite you. You are the wayfinder who love the oar. Moana said, then you want to see me use it. Matangi said, you are the human who's got all the gods talking. Moana said, who are you? Matangi said, the guardian of this little slice of paradise. Moana said, you live here. Matangi said, not by my choice. Maui never mentioned me. Probably too busy playing with his tattoo. You want to break Nalo's curse? Find Motufitu. Yeah, I am here to help. Moana said, you know the way to Motufitu. Matangi said, so much to learn. You think you are the wayfinder can find Motufitu? No. The true wayfinder doesn't know the path at all. To find your way to what's never been found is stop playing it safe. Go and get lost. Moana said, why would I listen to anything you say? Matangi said, because Nalo trapped me, too. If the curse broken, I will be free. I have been stuck 1,000 years. Matangi teaches Moana that my terrible advice is to get lost, can find a new way. Matangi said, there's always another way. Moana, what are you gonna do? Moana said, get lost and jump down. Moana arrived at the first place Maui arrived. Matangi said, it is portal of the gods. Won't get you all the way to Motufitu, but it will be shorten the commute for you and your crew. Suddenly, Maui arrived and said, Moana, I'm here to help you. Moana said the magic words and the portal opens. Maui said, you can open this portal? Moana's cruise was happy to see this. Her boat was sucked away by a portal. Maui said, hey you, Bat Lady, this was your plan to keep me in a snot cave because you want us to go together. Matangi said, do you want me to keep you for the conversation? Moana said, well, shall we? Matangi said, I can't leave here, break Nalo's curse, maybe one day we'll see each other again. Remember, there's always another way, even if you have to get lost to find it. Good luck, Tautai Moana. Moana leave. Matangi said to her bat, if Nalo finds out I helped, we'll die by lightning. But Maui looked good. Moana arrived on the boat and sees everyone was happy because they are in a portal of the gods. Moana was very happy to see Maui again. Maui said, could have told me we're doing new outfits. I been rockin' leaves on my cheeks for 1,000 years. Moni said, this is the greatest day of my life. Moana told Maui about her experiences. Kakamora helped her on the clam. She met Matangi. We are gonna break Nalo's curse together. Maui closed her mouth and said, you're all gonna die. Moana said, what? Maui said, Nalo created a dangerous storm and hid Motufitu Island at the bottom of the ocean. People couldn't reach that island. I knew this from the beginning because I didn't want you to buy a one-way ticket to Deadsville. Maui said, but it's great to see you and we are here now. Moana encourages her crew by saying that our ancestors wouldn't have called if we couldn't do this. Maui said, if they know so much, how come they didn't tell you it was sunk? Moana said, because he told me to follow the fire in the sky. Maui said that island is at the bottom of the ocean and cannot be reached by humans. Moana said, yes, that's why my ancestors bring you here. You lift the island and I step on it. Maui and Moana together again, so amazing. Moana said, you think this is gonna work, right Ocean? Ocean stays silent and didn't respond to her. Maui said, the ocean cannot help you here. The bright lights under the water. Moana was happy. She said, Grandma. Maui said, I believe that's a welcome gift from Nalo. It was Sucka, sea monster. The Captain Coconut shot it with toxin to make it sleep, but useless. Maui gives it one hook and it's back into the water. Maui said, guys, in your position now. He said, we really gotta talk about your recruiting process. Maui said, hey kid, I've got you down below. Grandpa Kele said, hey, I am an elder. Maui said, I am 3,000 years old. Which makes me elder-er. It's Maui time. Many Saka attack Moana's boat. Moni, because of helping Moana, he slips and fell into the water. Saka follows Moni. Moana said help Moni. Maui comes and dives into the water to help him. The other Saka continue to attack Moana. Luckily, the sun rises and the Saka retreat. Moana sees Maui was back alone and she was shocked. In fact, Moni has been saved. He doesn't say anything. Moana decides to find an island to anchor the boat and rest for a while. Everyone feels sad and scared. Loto said, Moana, come over here. This is Tautai Veza's canoe. Maui said it's a bad time to say it. But I believe in you. Moana said, you know Maui, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. If we don't do it, our people's story will end in the future. But Moni, he almost lost his life. Moana said, this is serious. Maui said, I know you're upset right now. He said, I have been low before and I couldn't see a way forward. And then someone came along, someone who I underestimated, and she lifted me up. Maui sings a song to Moana, encouraging her that there is nothing we can't do if we believe. You have got greatness inside. Maui reminds Moana of the good things she has done in the past. Who are you? Who are you gonna be? You are the one who makes history. Moana felt good. She said that everyone, even though our boat got seriously damaged, if we are together. Moana said, you fix this. Loto said, with a little help from the ancestors. Grandpa Kele said, I did the decorations with chickens helping. Moana said, Nalo wants to end our story. We aren't letting that happen. Loto said, we do have a demigod. But he's a little scruffy, better than we have nothing. Maui said, okay, now listen, we sail to the heart of Nalo's storm. Once I raise the island, you all have to get to it. Moana said, it'll be harder than anything we've faced before. Moni said, I am fine, don't worry, for our people's stories we must do it. Moana said, all right then, let's break a curse. Moana said, it's a storm, just a really big one. Suddenly, a huge storm appeared. Nalo used lightning to spray the ocean water, creating a huge wave. Moana said, everyone get into your position, now it's time. Maui said, now you guys are smarter than before. He transformed into a giant hawk and flew to the sky to destroy the lightning storm. They were following the plan. Maui was happy to destroy Nalo's storm. But the storms didn't care about him, they were aimed at humans. A big storm almost destroyed Moana's boat, but Maui arrived in time. Maui said, it's okay. I got half of scoreboard. Suddenly, many storms reborn. Dum Dum reset Maui's score. Maui said, well, Nalo is a cheater. Moana said, Nalo care about me human, so we distract Nalo, let him come after us while Maui reaches the center and lift the island. Maui said, well, we can switch it up. But be careful, if the storm hit you it's over. Moana said, thanks you. Maui said, you're welcome. Giant hawk. He said, just kidding. Because the boat got damaged, Loto quickly repaired it. And the storm came, she said, bingo bango. The boat moved quickly, escaping from the storm. Moana said, Loto, you are a genius. Loto said, thanks to Moni first. Maui tried to fly faster to reach the center. He used his hook to pull the Motufitu island up. Moana said, Maui can do it and we should sail to him. Loto said, reduce the weight, there is a giant wave. Maui tried to lift the island, but Nalo stopped caring about people and used all his lightning to shoot at him. His magic tattoo disappeared, and he became to be a human, fell into the water. Moana remembered Matangi's words, saying there is always another way. There is another way to reach the island. Go find Maui. Moana jumped into the water to reach Motufitu Island. Lightning struck her in the water. Grandpa Kele saved Maui. Nalo used his strongest lightning to hit Moana. Finally, she could have touched Motufitu Island, but as soon as she touched it, the lightning struck her instantly. On the surface of the water, the storm dissipated. Maui woke up and said, "Where is Moana?" He jumped into the water to find Moana. She was dead. And Maui said, "Moana, you can't please." Many of Moana's ancestors arrived. Grandma Tala also arrived. They sang an ancestral song together. Suddenly, a wonderful magic flew into Moana's body. On her arm appeared a tattoo like Maui's one. Moana woke up. She was surprised to see her ancestors are standing around her and the new tattoo. This means that Moana was dead and now she became a demigod. While Maui, when he didn't have the magic tattoo, he became a human. The ocean gives him his magic hook back, and Maui is happy to be a demigod again. Moana gets her oar back, but now it's a magic oar. Grandma said together still, just a little different. Maui used his hook to pull the Motufitu Island up from the bottom of the ocean. Moana blew her conch shell and the channel of the ocean once came together appeared again. Maui said, "Good to see you again." Moana said, "So, does this mean?" Maui said, "Yes, my tattoos are still cooler than yours." Moana's friends arrived and they were very happy to see Moana alive. They didn't know the story behind this. Ocean returned. Do we wonder why it didn't help Moana? Because this place was cursed by Nalo's sea. On the rock there was a picture of Motufitu Island connected to other islands. People from other islands came to Moana. Moana was very happy. People from other islands kept coming. Maui arrived at Motunu Island. The villagers said, "Why didn't you come a little appropriately?" Maui said, "You're welcome." He met Simea. She grabbed his ear and said, "I am Simea." Maui said, "Of course you are her." He said, "Hey kids, hold that a second. Moana has a gift for you." Simea said, "Big sis." Moana said, "Little sis." Moana said, "It's not over yet. We have guests visiting our house today." The villagers from other islands share their knowledge with each other. Maui said, "Boat snack, now it's upgrade." Moana sails the boat for the coconut captain to Coconut Island. Everyone was very happy. Moana uses her magic oar to speed up the boat. It's beautiful. Everyone, our movie has come to an end. What do you think? Is it good movie? Leave me a comment your idea and tell me what's movie that you want me to explain next. We will see you next video. Hundreds thousands thanks you. Bye bye.